are back. Hi, everyone. It's Emil. It's Emil Guillermo. Emil Amok to you. Welcome to my takeout. My Emil Amok's takeout, my takes, and all things considerable. Of course, the thing I want to talk to you most about is that I finished high enough among 16 comics yesterday at the World Series of Comedy in Sacramento at Laughs Unlimited in Old Sacramento that I'm advancing into round two. Round two, yes. I go from the big colon into the small colon now. Yeah, and I'm excited about that. Tonight at 7 p.m. Laughs Unlimited. To get tickets, go to VIPTicketHub.com/unlimited tickets. VIPTicketHub.com/unlimited tickets. Use the code GIVE. Say I sent you. You'll get a massive discount. And you'll have to buy a T-shirt on your own. I mean, they got a T-shirt with my name on the back. Well, I mean, my name among others, but it's right there on the top row. That's a nice souvenir. Yeah, I entered a comedian competition, a comedy competition, and fortunately, all I got was a lousy T-shirt. That's one of the few times, and that's really the goal. I wanted the T-shirt. No, it was great last night. It had a nice set. 5 minutes last night. I'll do seven tonight. If I advance, I get to do 9 minutes on Saturday. And then the top 6 out of the remaining, I think, 27 go hand to hand in a finals match Saturday night. Something like that. I mean, they've worked it out. They've been doing it a long time, about 15, 16 years, World Series of Comedy, WSOC. It's fun to be part, and because, to be a comedian these days, you got to go on the road, but you can do open mics, but, are you a comedian? Yeah, you are. You do open mics. But now the next step, you formalize your commitment by saying, "Oh, I'm going to go to these competitions. I'll go to the road." It's a way to do the road and not, get so, what's the word? Demoralized. Sometimes the road can be demoralizing. Sometimes it can be, hey, this is what comedians do. So for someone like myself, a late stage comedian, that sounds like late stage cancer, huh? Now, someone like me, it's exciting to have these opportunities. So last year I was in Tacoma. This year I'm doing Sacramento. And then I'll probably end up going to the World Series of Comedy just to meet all the other folks. I mean, there was a guy. Now, this is how it works in comedy. You do an open mic. I did one in LA about a year ago. And there's this guy named... I thought from his Instagram, I thought his name was Garpit because his Instagram handle is introducing Garp. It says introducing. It looks like it says Garpit, but it's Arpit. Arpit, which is like armpit without the M. He won last night, and he's advancing to the next round on Friday. And so we could meet again on Saturday, but it's fun. You meet these guys. You say, yeah, we saw each other a year ago. And then when you see each other on the road, you're fast friends, and that's a little taste of what it's like to be in comedy, especially when you're not. I mean, they call it the World Series, but frankly, if the World Series should have people like Kevin Hart and you name a what's her name? Can't think of her name now. Ali Wong, all the big ones that right now. If the World Series should have people like that, I guess we're kind of the bat boys, but we're in the game, and people will come, they'll laugh. We're good because, sometimes you get to be so good, like, star power, like Ali Wong, or you name your favorite comics who are really, marquee names. They just like say anything and people laugh, right? The guys who are working their way up, they're working hard. They're working hard. Anyway, it's a good group. World Series of Comedy tonight, 7 p.m. Laughs Unlimited, Old Sac. Use, if you're watching me, go to viptickethub.com/unlimited tickets. Use the code GIVE and say Emil Amok sent you, and we're good. That's all you got to do. Huge discount. Come see me. Say hi afterwards. And look, to be perfectly honest, I'm just glad to advance to a second round. I'm glad to advance and do stand up somewhere, where there's a stage and a microphone. There's just something about it that's different from even talking into the ether here on my my Emil Amok's Takeout. But it all, it all strokes the same sensibility, same consciousness. And I'm just happy to be able to do it. Catch it tonight, 7 p.m., Thursday, June 12th, World Series of Comedy at Laughs Unlimited in Old Sac. And if you're nowhere close, he said, come on, Emil. I like to drive, but I'm in Nome, Alaska, and I love you, buddy, but I'm not going to be there. Hey, there's a live stream. Check it out. There's a link to check out where to get a live stream, and it's essentially for a donation. Check it out at that viptickeethub.com/unlimited tickets. See you tonight. All right, so we have quite a news day, and the funny thing is we've had quite the news days, since the weekend, right? Since the threat of troops and more troops, and now we have a court case coming up where the governor of California, Gavin Newsom, is going to try to stop, say that it was unlawful what President Trump did to order the National Guard, to federalize the National Guard, and then also then to order the Marines, although that may be a separate issue. Anyway, it's the courts where we're fighting all this, because what is legal, what is illegal? It's just funny that to arrest what he calls the illegals, President Trump has to do an illegal thing. We'll find out in the court ruling if there's a temporary restraining order put on the federalization of the National Guard. We'll watch that. But the big news that everyone's talking about, well, number one, if you're in news, there's only one big story today, and that's 260 dead after an Air India crash. There was one survivor. I mean, it's amazing. If you're flying on an airplane today, God bless you. Safe travels. My wife's on an airplane today. Safe travels to her. But it just goes to show you that, we take safety for granted. This is an Air India crash. It's serious. 260 dead, one survivor. At the World Series of Comedy last night, there were at least 3 or 4 South Asian comedians who were there. And it just dawned on me how the diversity of voices in comedy isn't stopping. I mean, people can say, oh, I only want to hear from the Theo Vons and the Joe Rogans. I like Theo Von. Joe Rogan, I think he's a better podcaster than a comedian, but people have a great variety. And so I was just happy to be on the program yesterday with so many Indians, and we were talking about their culture, just while we were in the back, because some of their jokes are about being Indian in America. And so had a nice exchange with one of the contestants and her husband. They were there. And so I come home, and then early this morning I wake up and there's this crash. And it's like, here's the thing. When you meet people in whatever you do in your work, I get this thing, there was a kind of empathy for India, its people, because I had this this instant relationship with this Indian couple. We were just talking. There was no barriers. We were friends through this joint thing, comedy, and I don't know if I'll see them tonight because they didn't advance. But there's something about the empathy that you get from just working with a diverse group of people, and that's the value of diversity. Although it's hard just to look at this story, 260 people dead, and not feel something. Here's the thing about plane crashes, and we're taught this in journalism. A plane goes down, that's news. That is news. And so you see how it's being covered by outfits like CNN and other places. They're covering it here in America. Again, they're an international channel. But the big story is somewhat related to the diversity angle. New York Times headline: Federal agents handcuff senator and force him to floor after he interrupts Noam. We're talking about Alex Padilla, the senator of California, and a lot of people don't know he's our senator. Now, I'm a Californian. I mean, I know he's my senator, but a lot of people don't. I think Kristi Noem didn't, because Kristi Noem was at a press conference. Padilla was coming in, identified himself, and her security kept him from approaching the podium, asking a question. If you haven't been paying attention, go check it out on your phone, check it out on cable news, watch what they did to Padilla. And my question is, if they could do this to a senator, they could do this to any of us. And that's where we are in America today. If you like the way this is going with our country, then I guess you're like Trump, because he designed this thing happening. Bring in the troops, federalize the National Guard, bring in the Marines to show force. And people like Alex Padilla, collateral damage. But yeah, Alex Padilla is also senator in our representative government. He's senator. He's a senator. For goodness sakes. What we saw in, why would they want to restrain Padilla after he identified himself? It would seem like, I don't know, it's not what you'd expect in a democracy. I suggest, if you haven't seen that, check out that video, because it is alarming. And maybe it will put Alex Padilla on the map, because heretofore, I don't think many people knew who is the senator to replace Barbara Boxer. That's who he replaced, not Feinstein. Feinstein has another replacement. I didn't even know it was LaFonza Butler, and then she stepped down. God, now I feel embarrassed. I can't just name off the top of my head who the other senator. Oh, Schiff, of course, Adam Schiff. And people know him from the impeachment. He went over from the House to the Senate. But, people know Schiff because he was already somewhat famous. People don't know Padilla. But it's just sad to see this happening in our democracy. Don't you think? I think it's just sad. So, check it out. I did some bits about Trump. I do my Trump voice. My voice gets all ratty when I like to talk like Donald Trump. I get in the mood by saying, Melania, Melania. Okay, I got to get in the key of Trump. Melania, 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 come here, hold my taco. Hold my taco, Melania. Okay. So, no, he's actually more a burrito guy. You know that, right? He's a burrito guy. If he likes Big Macs, he's more of a burrito guy. Come on. Come on, come on, come on. The likes of which we've never seen. The likes of which the world has never seen. He's a burrito man. So, but check out Alex Padilla. Maybe it's the first time you'll have heard of him. I hope it's not if you're from California. He's your senator. But maybe it's the first time people around the country. Actually, a lot of people are now stepping up. Schatz, the senator from Hawaii, who kind of keeps his head down low, doesn't really do a lot. I mean, that's how you survive in politics. Just don't be a target. But Senator Schatz went up there and gave a stirring speech from the Senate floor about what is going on in America. And here's the thing: if you are concerned, start looking now for where a No Kings rally is near you. The No Kings rally is going to happen on June 14th around the country. There are these ad hoc rallies loosely affiliated with each other, but throughout the country, so you don't have to like fly to Washington or fly to some central part. It's like protest where you are, stand up where you are, and that's America. That's America. All right, I'm going to stop here at 20. I won't talk about the Pacers beating OK. You know, OKC, I think they should be a good team, but I know that the Pacers are slightly better because of their experience. I think that's why I like the Pacers more. But if you play the game so close together, you get tired. Lots of things happen. I wasn't able to see any of the game. I just got back home. So what's the score? Because I know the score. I was in the competition, this comedy competition. Anyway, let's end this here. And I'll just close by saying again, tonight, WSOC, World Series of Comedy, June 12th, Thursday, 7 p.m. at Laughs Unlimited, Old Sac. If you're watching me, go to VIPtickethub.com/unlimited tickets. VIPtickethub.com/unlimited tickets. Use the code word GIVE, G-I-V-E. Say Emil Amok sent you. There's a drop-down menu. And get a big discounted ticket. You can come see me. I think I'm up second. So probably around 7:20 or so, I'll be up. 9 comics tonight. Should be fun. And then, let's see. Possibly, if I do well, I'll advance to Saturday. So crossing my fingers. But it's been such fun to be in this satellite of the WSOC. A lot of fun. All right. We close with a little loving kindness. Because one meditation that comes to mind is the easiest way to lose an enemy is to make them friends. You know, I wish that worked. I mean, right now we're so belligerent, so combative, trying to make people friends. There is so much at stake that no one wants to be friends, but that's the miracle. That's the step that we need to take if we want to solve some of the things that are happening in our society. We need to be friendly. So be friendly, all right? So, as I wish for me, I wish for you. May you be safe. May you be happy. May you be healthy. And may you live with ease. Simple. Hey, Emil Guillermo here. Emil Amok. Till next time. Mahal Kita.